And as you join us now, a breakaway of 5 riders. This really forming after some 23 riders got away and developed the move on the Madonna del Gisala. And these 5 going clear. 242 kilometres the distance today. 166 starters on the line. And this is the breakaway listed for us. Maximilian Sciandri, Giorgio Furlan, Pascal Richard, Claudio Chiappucci and Ivan Gotti of Italy. 4 Italians facing 1 Swiss rider, Pascal Richard. And this is the Motorola rider here, Max Sciandri. Having just about his best season, Max. He finished 3rd in Milan-San Remo, 5th in the Amstel Gold, 5th in the Tour of Flanders, 2nd in Henninger Term and won the Tour of Luxembourg. You can't complain about that in World Cup racing. 4th in the Leeds Classic. And there's a man who is set for a high finish now in the World Cup competition, and this could be the icing indeed. Maurizio Fondries, the clear leader, and will be the winner of that competition by the end of the day. The Italian, and he'll be the first man to win the World Cup twice. There's the course. We've been over these 2 climbs now. Just Lisolo to come, or the last one rather, but basically the hills behind us. Anybody going to go clear, they've got to go on this small climb. Let's keep Chiappucci at the back. You can hear 1 or 2 shouts there. And this is Robert Miller here now, trying to do something on the small climb to try and get across to the leading group as the last climb begins, Lisolo. And it leaves them a run down to the finish in Monza. It's a much more active race these days. And Ariostia, last time we'll see those colours in action, by the way, because they leave the sport at the end of this season. And Giorgio Furlan is the rider up there, along with Pascal Richard. They've got 2 riders in this breakaway, Ariostia, and a chance to play a few cards perhaps. Sciandri knows it well. He's riding at the back here now. Got a very, very good finish and his best form ever. Leaving Motorola at the end of the season, largely because he feels he needs an Italian team to be part of the Italian World Championship selection. Strange life history, Max, because he was born in Britain. His family now live in California, and he speaks fluent Italian and is certainly a naturalised Italian these days. And this is Chiappucci now on the climb. Do or die for Claudio. Trying desperately to hang on to this small group. Now a chance for our really brave motorcycle pilot to get through on Claudio Chiappucci to find Sciandri here. And on we go. So Chiappucci's not had the legs on that climb at all, neither has Sciandri. And we're now finding the survivors are here. And they're the 2 Ariostia riders, Furlan and Richard. Up towards the top of the climb, Pascal Richard, Giorgio Furlan. Beautiful day today. The race was highlighted at the start by a long breakaway by the French rider Eddy Seigneur and Edwig van Hooijdonk. The maximum lead of almost 5 minutes was eventually wiped out on the climb of the Asina Lario. And from that moment on, Pascal Richard has played quite a moment in this race. He's been in every move since. And now he's in this move here with his teammate. Now there's a difficult decision if these 2 riders have to fight out the finish. Teammates, 1 an Italian, who should win the race? Road's drying off a little bit now, but it's a very, very pleasant autumn day in Lombardy. Known as the Autumn Leaves Classic. It's an excellent name for as the trees begin to change their colour. Although we've had such a great summer, there's no sign of that in these pictures, is there? Now this is Sciandri trying to get back on terms with Chiappucci. And the 2 of them now, a 2-up team time trial. And the chase down by Claudio Chiappucci and Max Sciandri, the only 2 riders in the chase back. And Max is so fired up this season, quite happy to keep this pace going. He's done so well this year, Max. And he's set for a good finish in the World Cup, which is all he wants. Motorola might be sad to lose Chandri this year. And so 2 Italians chasing, 1 Italian and a Swiss in the lead. And it looks to me as though, in fact, the chase is proving profitable. I don't think they're very far ahead here, as Chiappucci's making a run, and so too Chandri. They look to be riding very strongly indeed, but so do to these two, and 10 seconds is the confirmed gap. It's nothing. Nothing at all. Furlan. And then Pascal Richard, former world cyclo-cross champion. And that lovely position of Max Chandri there. Nice long reach, plenty of power coming out of him. And indeed, he can produce quite a sprint when it matters, on the occasion that he has to. There's a look down the legs of Max Chandri on the last drinks of the day, I would think. And here is Claudio Chiappucci. Probably the most popular of the Italian riders, Claudio. And Giorgio Furlan. Getting late in the afternoon now as you watch 2 Arioste riders almost in unison. Furlan is at the back, and he's a rider who's had a great year as well. Finished 6th in Milan-San Remo, 4th in the Tour of Lombardy. That's the Swiss stage race, the stage of the Giro d'Italia under the belt, and he finally finished 12th overall in that race as well. So he's had a good season, and he's going to be pleased with that. Now Motorola with news. Jumokovic passing on the message there to Max Chandri, and he's going to tell him you've got just 10 seconds to bridge, and go for it. Chandri 3rd overall in the World Cup competition, and going to score well here. Fondriest will run out the winner of that championship for the 2nd time, and Max is getting plenty of help here from Claudio Chiappucci. Concentrating on the back wheel there, Chiappucci. Workmanlike figure there of Claudio. There they are. They're only just up the road. He keeps putting his head down and driving, looking up and hoping he sees them a little bit closer. Long turn here by Claudio Chiappucci indeed. Too fast, I think, for Max. There's the 2 leaders. The 2 Arioste riders are now not very far from the finish, but can they hang on? Furlan. No sign of panic on their faces yet. Looked over his shoulder, word to Pascal. I think because of the proximity of the chase, they haven't even had a chance to decide which one of them is going to win, or whether they've decided that it will be a free fight for all. Because the chase is just off their back wheels, and Richard doesn't look too good to me. Head on one side, always in and out of the saddle. Furlan seems to be the strong rider here. Following the line down the centre of the road. You see the gap there, and Richard's uncomfortable. He's looking round all the time, he's not concentrating. And there they are, they're almost on him. We're in the streets of Monza. We've got to get through to the finish line though. And it really demands something special now from one of these 2 riders. The long legs of Maximilian Chandri. Claudio takes a drink, holds the wheel of Maximilian. Look at this now, what a pursuit. Nothing in between the 2 groups. And that's good to see. So it's all effort from the 2 chasers if they're going to cross this gap. Well, that's going to be about 7 seconds now. And Richard gone back to the front. Well, it's a case of finishing 1st and 2nd, or I would think 3rd and 4th if those 2 catch up. They're trying to save energy at the same time as hold the gap open here. They're just trying to hold on to something. Fairland goes through now. Richard. More urgency, kicks well, gets onto the wheel of his teammate. He needs to hold that wheel. Fairland, who turned pro just 3 seasons ago, started off well by winning the Italian National Championship. That was his first win as a pro. That's where we are now, outskirts of Monza. 9 kilometers or 5 and a bit miles. It's an awful long way. When you keep looking over your shoulder at the chase, they could well catch up. The 2 leaders are around. Well, so often the Giro de Lombardia has a good finish like this, and it hasn't let us down again today. Now, this is the sort of highway they didn't want to see at this stage of the race. Pucci. Well, there's no challenge at all coming from the back. These 4 are in it for the first, second, third and fourth prizes. And if anything, that gap, well, it looks to me from this position from the helicopter as though it may well have extended slightly. So maybe they've gone through that psychological moment and they've started to go away again. Even at this stage of the game, you see Chandri is allowing long turns by Claudio Chipucci rather than doing short and fast relays. Monza is approaching quickly into the cobble streets now. But now this race has become point-to-point Monza. Taking in these 7 climbs, it's a much better race. Well, the only Swiss rider to have ever won this race, by the way, is Tony Rominger. Rominger, who won it last year in 1992, and indeed he's won it twice. Now Richard is here, possibly to alter that. Or will Fairland make it the 57th victory for the Italians? 6 hours now. And the finish almost here. About 5 indeed at the most. Fairland still has plenty to go in those legs. He's still trying, because I think Richard is not quite firing at the same strength at all. It is most unusual. He's saying something there too, Giorgio. It's most unusual to see 2 teammates in the lead and nobody else around them, but that's what we've got here. And it could well have been, in fact, that Richard asked Giorgio Fairland there how far to go. But the gap is going up, and I find that extraordinary, but it looks as though they are going clear instead of being caught. At around 9 kilometers to go, they had, well, I would have said no chance. Now they've got every chance. These 2 seem to have settled into a rhythm which is not quick enough. The right turn. A little circuit around the city. And there's going to be no way now they'll get caught, I think, and I think that's probably the message that's just come from Giancarlo Ferretti. And I wonder if he said, and also, by the way, you 2 can fight out the finish, may the best man win, because I'm sure that's got to be the decision now. The gap has gone out by a further 11 seconds. Always difficult, unless we'll be treated to the holding of hands and the going over the line together. But so often when you do that, for the sake of the history books, the referees usually split you anyway. Fairland is unloading excess baggage. And the race coming round to the industrial finishing area. And it's going to be a finish with these 2, and it's going to be in low. Look, the gap's gone way out now. 1 minute 50 seconds. They cracked them over the last 2K. And there's the confirmation coming to the riders at the same time as we go into the kilometre kite. 1 kilometre to go. And I think Ferretti is probably saying it's over to you two. Whichever way you permutate these riders, Arioste will get first and second. Now, I wonder if we're going to see any real dodging around here. Well, if they start playing cat and mouse like this, and it looks as though they're going to do just that, that chase group is going to close in. Ferland has the advantage in second place. Richard knows it. Richard takes a look. They're both taking. This is amazing. What an amazing finish to a classic race. 2 teammates, and their only rivals now are each other. Quite clearly they've made the decision the best man will win, but Ferland wants to be that man too. And he's had a good season. And of course he's Italian. There's the chasers. The gap has shut right down again now. Just one last chance perhaps. Claudio and Chandri. Well, I wish our camera would get back to those 2 leaders and see what exactly is going on for first and second as Claudio winds it up here for only third. Now we go to the finish camera. This is it. But you know, they really are gambling. That's Ferland in the lead here now. So Pascal, while we're off camera for a while there, has managed to get into second position and the advantage of the sprint. The whole field in the top straight now, but they're too far behind. We're going for the sprint here now. So, in fact, Ferland has been forced to launch the sprint, but now comes Pascal Richard, is shoulder to shoulder. So Pascal Richard is going to get Switzerland's second ever victory, well, third victory, second different man, as Pascal Richard takes it from Ferland, and the sprint for third place. Chiappucci no match for Max Chandri. And now this is a small group just off the front here. Massimo Podenzana is the Italian champion at the back. This looks like Jesper Skibby leading here. And Pyotr Ugrimov also in this group. And Charlie Motte. So they've just got away in the closing kilometres. Skibby goes for it now. Motte's right behind Jesper Skibby. But Skibby's a good finisher indeed. And Motte taking him on, and Motte, I think, is going to get it on the line. Motte coming with Skibby shoulder to shoulder. Motte's on the left. He's clear and takes it. Motte, Skibby, Ugrimov and Podenzana. But this was the race for the victory. And a little piece of history here. The 2 Ariostia riders fighting it out, shoulder to shoulder. And the rider on the left, Pascal Richard of Switzerland, the former world cyclo-cross champion, gets it by about 3/4 of a length. And he pips Giorgio Ferland, who must be very disappointed. Another chance from the side camera, and as you see in the end, he timed his sprint to perfection, and it was just about a length. So Pascal Richard gets the victory, follows on from the victory of Tony Rominger last year, and a couple of years before that Rominger also won as well. And a congratulations there from the World Cup winner to Giorgio Ferland, and that's Maurizio Fondries now for the second time, the holder of the World Cup, and what a marvellous season he has had. He's won more races than anyone. And so the Italians had their moments of glory, but indeed they must be a little bit disappointed that the wrong man, as far as the Italians are concerned, won the Giro di Lombardia, the 87th edition. But at the end of the day, they can salute Maurizio Fondries, the World Cup winner. And so, I must say, it's been an excellent season this year, and there's been no doubt about the dominant personality, apart from Miguel Indurain, of course. It's been Maurizio Fondries. There's the result of the Giro di Lombardia: Richard, Ferland, Chandri, Chiappucci, Motte, Skibby, Ugrimov, Podenzana, and Dmitry Konishev finally coming home in 9th place. The American Andy Hampston was 29th.